So hello everyone. Today during the New York Dance and Arts Innovation Quarantine series, we have an outstanding Polish duo from Krakow called Cracow Duo with Marek Szlezer and Jan Kalinowski. Marek Szlezer on the piano and Jan Kalinowski on the cello. Very unusual ensemble in Poland, which is trying to connect the modern music, also playing a lot of romantic music. We also talk today also about the Chopin, a lot of experiences working with the great masters. They studied together at the École Normale, so in Paris, and also at the Music Academy in Krakow. And it's been 20 years playing together. It's a long time, long tradition. Today they have anniversary, a special year for them. This is a different year because, as we know, this pandemic. So we are very curious what's going on. I have to say, from my perspective, I had a chance to collaborate with this wonderful duo a couple of years ago. They were also here in New York. They play at the Kościuszko Foundation. I wrote one piece, but they played some pieces by Frédéric Chopin and also some Polish composers. So mostly they are basically performing the Polish composers of the modern music, but not only, because sometimes they also play international. So first of all, I would like to thank you very much, Marek and Jan, for being with us. And also I want to say congratulations, because last year, it was 2019, you got a special award, Global Music Award for outstanding achievement. So congratulations for this prize. And thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much. Yes,
hello, Marek, and hello, Jan. So thank you very much. So I have a first question for you. First, I would like to ask you about maybe individually and also as an ensemble about the last year. How I could follow on the medias that I could see that you have a lot of virtual concerts. So maybe you can tell a few things about your last concert life in this difficult pandemic life, okay? If you can tell us a few words about this.
So maybe I will start.
Jan, maybe first.
Yes. So once again, thank you for the invitation. It's very nice to be here and that we can speak a little bit. So last year was absolutely different than years we had before. We have the beginning of the year was quite normal because we had a great tour with Marek in Chile with a very nice concert, beautiful hall in Semenes Musical Festival. But after that, the pandemic starts and all our concerts was cancelled.
In March, right?
So we didn't go to US for concerts. Also, our concert in Brazil was cancelled, in Peru, and a lot of concerts also in Europe and in Poland. So what we can do was to make some recordings and to make some online concerts. And we try this way somehow stay in touch with our public and still perform.
You know, was when the pandemic breakthrough, that of course, we had a lot of plans. As Jan said, we had a tour planned in the US, we had a tour in Brazil, South America, and a lot of concerts, and everything was canceled. And we were mainly concerned after some time to be able to go on, to be able to have our activity, to be able to perform music for public. So, actually, our first online concert, I think we did, was already in April. Actually, as soon as it was possible, we tried to do it. Firstly, because we wanted to see how it will work for us too, because it was some kind of new experience, and secondly, because we had some new pieces written for us already, which were awaiting premiere. There were a lot of plans that needed to be realized somehow. So it was also a kind of need we had to just keep going. So after that experience, actually, this concert was, I think, well received, and we actually felt it was quite okay. I mean, it's not the same like playing for a live public; it will never be. But we decided that, yeah, okay, we have circumstances like that, we'll just keep going, and so we do till now. Of course, last year was not, I would say, as difficult in terms of concert life as this year, because there were still some initiatives going on, and even if concerts were canceled, they were postponed or they were done online. And
but Marek, are you talking about Poland or generally in Europe? Because
I would say generally. I would say generally, not only Poland.
Okay.
I would say generally. But things were still happening somehow. But this year is far more difficult, I think, in these terms, because everybody's afraid just to organize anything. So, or automatically everything is going online, or it's just said that, okay, maybe we will book you this year, but we do not know. You know, it's like, it's more tricky, I would say, in this, from this point of view. But we record a lot. We decided to just use this time to do recordings. Still, there is a lot of material which is unpublished, because we just, you know, we recorded, and we will see what will happen. We will make maybe one, maybe two new recordings from this material, which we already registered partly. So we try to keep going this way also.
I have a question, both of you, regarding those online concerts, about your idea. So you do streamings on Facebook and also website, right? But do you also have ticketing? How does it work with your concerts? Do we need purchase tickets, or there are free tickets, free concerts?
Yes, this question is a little bit difficult to answer, because if we organize something, or we do just something for the people, this is absolutely free, because we don't make any tickets for these concerts. But when we play some concerts for the organized by some institution, then we just don't check exactly how it works. Maybe the institution takes some, sell some pass for the concerts, but we have invitation to our guests, so this we don't know exactly how it works. But if we do something for people, like the concert with Marek already mentioned on April, that was after 1 month, we stay at home and we decide to just go to the studio and just stream live from the studio. This was absolutely free, and it was on our channel on YouTube.
On YouTube channel, okay.
On YouTube or Facebook or other media, but they just organize online concerts with the bookings and tickets,
Okay.
like by management. No, we don't do that.
We don't do like that. Okay. And how do you find yourself, both of you, playing? Because that's a completely different virtual reality when you have to perform. You did a lot of concerts. Also, last year there was a new music festival, and I was watching, I was following, and I also saw that you play a couple of concerts during this festival, which only happened virtual. So how did you find yourself?
You know, the concert is a concert, so you just go on the stage and you perform. But what you feel on the stage is a different thing, because we really like the connection with our audience, and we like the atmosphere of the hall. For us, when we perform with Marek, it's very important this special relation and this atmosphere when you can find in the hall when you are on the stage. And when you are doing this online, you just absolutely alone stay on the stage. So of course the concentration is the same, and you know that you are now performing the concert and you try to do the best, but it's absolutely different thing, and it's not the same. And of course we miss normal concerts with a public and with this connection, and to get once again this relation with people on the stage.
But guys, did you have any chance in last year to have any in-person concert or not?
Yes, actually we got a few. I mean, the last one we performed for live public was in October in Italy on the Modern Music Festival. And it was the last actually concert we got a public on.
But we play also in Minsk, in Belarus. We had 2 concerts with a recital, and also a concert with National Chamber Orchestra, where we played Krzysztof Meyer Musica Concertante for cello, piano, and string orchestra and percussion. And this was with public in concert hall in Minsk. There was quite a lot of people on that concert.
So how is the situation there? How is the situation? Do they keep the distance, like a 6 feet or something like that, or how is that?
No, there were no restrictions.
No
restrictions? There were no restrictions at all. But people were watching. I mean, in terms that they were trying to be cautious, but there were no official restrictions whatsoever. So the hall was fully packed, like old times, I would say. It was actually touching for us in some way, because it was the only concert we got last year that had no restrictions, So it was very, very strange feeling, I would say, really.
But did you perform, guys, with mask or without mask? No, really?
No. Okay. It's actually performing with mask is very difficult. I find it personally difficult.
Yeah, I know.
Because I do not see fully keys. I mean, I have difficulties to do it. And if I can avoid it, I do. Actually, I performed a few times because I had a page turner, for example. So I needed for the distance for recording. But I actually, it was not comfortable at all. I think it's quite difficult. Maybe, I don't know if especially for pianists, because you look down and you see the mask, but probably also for cello is the same, because you look at your hand. So it's, I think it's very uncomfortable.
Yes, but what do you think, Marek? I want to ask you this question as a pianist. Do you think like Glenn Gould would find himself very well in this current situation? Because that's what he was doing his life when he was recording just for the, without the audience. And now we have the situation when we are somehow like Glenn Gould performing just without audience. So
no, that's good. That's good. I think that's good observation, because
yes. Glenn Gould times.
I also thought about Glenn Gould when this happened.
Because and I could be disaster for Richter. For Richter would be disaster.
I'm a little bit. Well, depends on the person. I think a lot. Me and Jan, we are guys that really like to play public. I mean, publicly, we like it. I think there is kind of different drive you're feeling with the public, and when you are without, it's completely different experience. And it's also like when you are recording in a studio. If you record, you look for perfection, and you look for other things, I would say, in your own performance. But when you play for public, I have to say that after this absence from concerts, live concerts, I would say that I prefer concerts than recordings.
You prefer Richter style when you
maybe I think so.
Richter kind, not Glenn Gould. Yes, but this is also about your performance, about artistic life. You have, of course, you have many concerts all around the world. That's different. But also teaching. Both of you are professors of the music now Penderecki Music Academy in Krakow, and tell us, how is it going there? How is the system? Because as I've heard, it's mostly online. So if you can both share, how is it for cello department, how is for piano department?
Semester, I mean the semester in 2020. So I mean the summer semester, when the pandemic starts, it was very difficult, because we just closed the school, and all what we did was online. So teaching the instrument through some application, it's very, very difficult, because this application are made to talk. So to talk without any noise. So just cut a lot of things, just to be clear. But when you speak, if you play some chords, when you play some very low notes, just the application thinks a little bit that somebody disturbing the voice, and then just try to cut that. So this is really difficult. Of course, it is not impossible to teach that way. We did that way as a whole semester. And when I work with my student, we could do quite a lot of things, but the things like the fingerings, the bowings, of course, to correct some intonation, tempo, and to tell something about the interpretation. But to really work about sound quality, the sound color, just through the internet, it's almost or really impossible. So this we could only discuss how it should be, but I never could check that it's really that way, like we want to hear that. And that was the summer semester. And after the vacation time, in our school, we decided to do the individual lesson,
face to face.
So all theoretical subjects they are still in internet on the internet online platform, but the individual lesson we did in school in our classrooms. So last semester, the winter semester, was for us, for professors from instruments, was quite normal, because we had students, we meet with them, we teach them, and the exams on end of January was with a very small commission, but was in concert hall, and they just play live. But for example, now the technical exam, we do like a recording, so students have to make a recording.
Sound recordings, pre-recording.
They made, and we then just we don't meet even with the commission. We just listen individually, and we give up points. Also, because of the situation, before the Easter, 2 weeks before the Easter, we closed the school, and now it's closed. So we don't do the individual lesson. We really are very hope that on the second half of April, after 18, 19 of April, we will go back to school to teach at least with our individual lesson, to finish the summer semester and prepare students for diplomas on June, July, in this our real work time in classroom with individual lesson, and like we did always.
So thank you very much for sharing this. You know, it's a lot of new things for me, Jan. But how about for the piano department, Marek? And also,
it's more or less the same, of course, because we had the same regulations. Of course, it's possible to do a lot of things online, but not all. It's very similar to Jan's experience. I think in piano, a lot depends on the piece you are playing, because if there is a piece of music which is very, I would say, extreme in terms of registers, in terms of sonority, and there are a lot of dissonances, it's very difficult to work on it, because, as Jan said, normally apps, they just cancel certain sonorities, so you just have hum, and that's all you do, and buzz, and it's not clear. However, if you have a kind of moderate piece, I would say, in terms of all these factors, it can work a little. I mean, to a certain moment, because you can correct fingerings, you can correct you can correct notes, you can tell something about the tempo. Some basic things are able to be done, but if we speak about more subtle things, I would say subtle even that concerns the pedal applying, so quite basic thing for a pianist, then it starts to be very difficult to do this online, if not impossible in certain aspects. For example, I'm struggling a lot now with one of my students who's playing the Prokofiev piano sonata.
Which one?
The third one. And it's very difficult to do this piece online, because in fact, because of technical means, it's almost impossible, especially when he really plays it in tempo and he plays it well already. So just it's in certain passages, it's impossible to tell anything, you know. Just question which is most concerning, it's about the people who are finishing the academy. Graduating, yeah, because this is a kind of double problem, because first, they're playing longer programs, so you need more time. Secondly, they need a jury, they need to pass several exams, and the cycle of studies is a little bit interrupted for those people because it already lasts a lot of time. So practically with certain students, we had, for example, contact, which was more or less regular, but it's not the same way of practicing. So it's not the same way of working together. So the progress is also different.
So maybe now let's come back also to your group and to your history. I want to ask you about your idea. When did you came for this idea that you, because many concerts you combining this modern music with those old masters, also a lot of Chopin. Later, I also, of course, I want to ask you for Chopin. Of course, Marek was a participant, as I remember, the Chopin competition. He's an important composer for you, for both of you also playing a lot. But now, generally, my question is about what was your idea, and when did you have this idea that you want to combine this new music with this, let's say, old masters? And when did you find out that you want to create this Cracow Duo? And tell about this.
So we know each other more than 30 years already. Our almost all life, I would say. So we started playing together quite late. Actually, we knew each other for almost 15 years then, more or less, when we started to play together. So we were best friends from school. And then we decided to try to play, and it worked out. And that was the main motive for it, because I think we are very different with Jan. We are, going along very good because we are open for each other. So this is kind of good conjunction, generally speaking. And in music, it's the same. So we found out that we are both like feeling each other very well. It's elastic. It's also individual a little, so it's not like it's completely unified, but it's elastic and it has some dynamism because of the differences.
Very flexible.
So, yeah, so it's when we knew that it can work, but it was the main motive for it. But it started from our friendship and from our ideas to do things together, actually, playing.
When did you play first contemporary piece? What was the first contemporary piece? And you started to be interested in this new music. When was that?
Oh, I think that was where we were on our study in Cracow Music Academy.
Okay.
And I think that was probably 2002. Our friend from our year, Jacek Kita, wrote for us. It was our first piece was written for us, and first piece that the modern piece we performed together with Marek.
So Jacek Kita was the first composer.
Yes, he was the first. Absolutely.
Who actually started with Penderecki also. Yes, I have a connection with Penderecki, Jacek Kita. Yes, great jazz player nowadays. Wonderful. Yes.
Yes, he's very talented composer. He now mainly writes music for theater, if I'm not mistaken. But it was really the absolutely first piece that was written to us. Okay. And then actually the idea started because, Cracow, as you know, is a center for actually composition, one of the main in Poland. And so there were a lot of composers, a lot of attention brought to teaching composition. And we thought that it might be a nice way because we are interested in modern music. So let's try to combine it with classical repertory, because we found always that, the purely modern contemporary music performances are usually unacceptable for, let's say, large number of so-called popular public, or inaccessible because people are afraid. But if you put a little dosage of modern music, or I would say proportional dosage, into the program, which is classical, it creates attention from the public. So people like it because it's something new, it's something unexpected, and it works if, of course, you connect well the pieces in the program. It really works. It's beneficial for both. So it's beneficial for public because they have touch with new music. It's beneficial for the new composition because usually if you put it well, people see that, oh, this is quite good, or this is quite interesting, and this is not much worse or different from like other 20th century composer, you know, like which is classical already. So this, I think, started to work well, and we went in this direction to combine this kind of repertory. Mm-hmm. Of course, watching carefully to not, you know, to always choose a right program for the right occasion. So mm-hmm. not to exaggerate in certain aspects with certain kind of music in both senses. So to not put too much, I mean, old pieces into contemporary music program, or contrary, to not put too many contemporary pieces into the very classical festival, for example, yeah, because it would be probably frightening for the organizers. Mm-hmm. But people understand the message of the music which is presented. If they find it, the piece can be very traditional or very modern. It's not really so important. We were thinking in the beginning that if the music is, you know, like neo-tonality or something like that, it's better, but not really. You know, it's very strange, very funny aspect. I would say about it, mm-hmm. that you can really put something very radical and people like it.
But it always depends also where you also play, or the culture, or the background, of the education. It's always very different. I'm sure when so many places in the world, it's very different when you go to Brazil and you play it, when you play, for example, I don't know, like Belarus, yes, for example. Yes. But now the question particular, because I'm talking also about Chopin and Friends Festival when I'm artistic director, and we started with the Chopin as a kind of grandfather, as inspiration also for modern composition competition and modern composers. And I have a question for you, both of you. What do you think about who is Chopin for you? Is this particular for Marek? Will be different because Marek plays also a lot of solo works. But also for you, Jan, also I'm playing chamber music. What do you think about Chopin?
So, you know, Chopin for cellists are very important. Of course, mm-hmm. for the pianist, probably much more. But for cellists are really important because he wrote the chamber pieces only for cello. Okay, well, it's one trio with violin, cello, and piano. But then it's cello sonata and also duo concertante. So the whole chamber music of Chopin is for cello. So for us, for a cellist, the Chopin is very important composer. And also for both of us with Marek, this is a very important composer because we very like to perform the Chopin music together. Also, the cello sonata was the first piece we prepared together for our first concert in 2001. We play Chopin and Shostakovich sonata on that concert. So this sonata was the first piece we work on it. It was a few months of working, and that was a piece on it. We just decide how we work, what we think about the music, and also know better because of working on that piece together with Marek. And after the concert, we get very good critics after that, and we decide that maybe it's a good idea to start working together more and prepare new pieces, and that's that so way we work next 20 years.
You're right. So Chopin was also the start for you, both of you, you know, as a kind of beginning point.
Exactly.
Yes, and that's also very late work, by the way, by Chopin. So started from his really last period. Yes, this sonata, because you started from this longer pieces, the longest he wrote for cello, actually, right? This cello sonata. And you, Marek, as a pianist.
Yeah, for pianists, of course, especially in Poland, the Chopin is kind of difficult. I mean, difficult, but it's like with Mozart in Germany or Tchaikovsky in Russia. So it's the main point of interest, but also is the main point of problems, I would say, because there is a lot of I would say, not pressure, but there is a lot of expectation concerning the performance. And somehow I have to say that I actually, because Chopin is one of my probably most played and preferred composers, and I also got a lot of prizes since I was a kid for performing this music. So I felt it I didn't feel it so much in my life. I started maybe to feel it more when I'm teaching now than when I'm performing, when I was performing. But I would say that Chopin for me personally is a kind of, well, when I play this music, I feel at home, and also in a very profound sense at home. I mean, it's not only about the sense of Poland, which is in this music, I think mainly present. For of course, we are talking mainly about piano solo pieces, but there is a kind of feeling which you know when you play this, and this is very, I would say, comfortable composer. I feel comfortable playing this music.
And I think at the end of our conversation, of course, we listen. Maybe I suggest maybe 2 movements from this sonata that you perform at the Duszki Zdrój, the place where Chopin actually spent his summer, right? Yes. When we have this wonderful Polish festival. A few weeks ago, we have a pianist from Taiwan, Gwyneth Chen, and her memory will only with Duszki, so she will remember very well this festival. This is very prominent, one of the most important festivals in Poland for the Chopin music, for the recital, for the piano music. And I think we will listen to 2 movements. Let's say this movement number 3, the slow movement at the end of our conversation, and the 4th movement, the finale, that you perform at the Duszki Zdrój last year, so during this difficult year. We also had the pleasure that actually last year on the Chopin Festival, we opened this with the sonata with Krystyna Walewska, who also was in this talk. She was playing this sonata with pianist Beck here from New York. But now, when we finish, I just want to ask you about your plans for this year. Maybe just very, very shortly about your future plans.
We already had a concert on Cello Festival in Krakow, where we perform Rachmaninov Cello Sonata.
Great work.
And this is still on Vimeo, the channel of our music academy. So you are invited to listen. It's combined with Stojowski Cello Sonata, performed by another artist from our academy. So this is what we did few days ago. Now we are preparing recording to Moldova television with music of Polish, Czech Republic, Slovak, and Hungarian composers. This is a project that we should do the recording, and the movie should be ready around end of May, and will be screened in Moldova television. So this is for the first half of the year. And for the second half, we have some plans to have a concert, real concert, but everything depends what will happen in the world with the pandemic, and we'll see if they will cancel that, they will postpone, we will do some recording. But what Marek mentioned before, that this year it's much more heavy than last year, because on the last year we had a lot of plans, and the organizers tried to did something, at least some recording, some online concerts. And this year it's very, very difficult, because people are, what Marek already said, that they are a little bit scary to organize, to invite. Also, they don't know if it will be possible to travel by plane or somewhere more far. Also, the funds were cut a lot for the culture sector. So that's another factor. Yeah, it's really for the artists this year. I think it's very, very heavy. And what will be next years, we will see. But I hope it will come back a little bit, at least to the work we had a few years ago.
There are still some pieces which are being wrote for us, and we probably will give premiere to them on the second half of the year. We are planning for sure our Jubilee concert for the 20 years of working together as a Cracow Duo. Probably at the end of the year, we'll also still see about the exact date of it and how it will be done, because we hope it will be normal concert. We would like to be at a normal concert, but maybe it will be just online event. We'll see. There are some composers who wrote, who are planning to write pieces for us for this event. We also will most probably issue our next album together. We will see if it will be just because we have two things which are being recorded now. First is devoted to like popular pieces, I would say more. So more known and unknown miniatures for piano and cello. And the second one is purely devoted to the pieces which are dedicated to us. So we already had one album like that a few years ago. So now we are making a sequel, how to say, but I don't know if it will be issued this year. We'll see about the progress of recording and everything. But so probably our two new albums will be coming out soon. But when this soon will happen, we still do not know. And for other plans, everything is very blurry, I would say. So there are a lot of propositions which are, somewhere there in the air, but everybody's waiting. I mean, everybody's waiting, and all international things are practically
on
in
hold.
suspension.
On hold.
Yeah, on hold.
So I wish you that the soon will be really soon,
Yeah.
So I wish you that the soon will really come really very soon with all of
I would like to, come back again to the US, because
yes,
we had plans last year. We were thinking to postpone it this year, but we see already that it will not happen. So maybe it will be postponed.
Maybe March 2022.
Yep.
We really want to come.
So I wish you all of this. Congratulations for your anniversary, great concerts. And I also wish that this pandemic will really get much better, that you will have in-person concert that we're looking for. And I thank you very much for this conversation, for sharing all of this last year stories and last situation. Thank you very much, Marek, and thank you very much, Jan. So all the best for you guys.
Thank you, all the best for you.
Thank you. And now we'll listen this sonata. That's the third and fourth movement from Duśniki Zdrój, performed by Cracow Duo. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.